I'm Jeremy Greer.
And I'm Gary Butterfield.
And this is Days of Future Cast, the podcast when we continually ask ourselves, why do we deal with the Shi'ar on a regular basis?
What do they have to do with the X-Men? How do they get tied up into it? Why must we have this albatross?
Every single time a good X-Men thing happens, the Shi'ar come out of nowhere just to muck it all up. Yeah.
Waiting in the wings to deploy their stink sacks.
I have never wanted to know anything about Warbird. I think she has a dumb name. She has a dumb costume. Every time I've ever seen
horrible costume.
Every time I've ever seen Warbird, she's just been a fighter person, and that's fine. But for some reason, we have decided to get real into the psyche of Warbird in this issue of comic books, and
So the idea here of Gladiator coming to rescue his son, right? Into it. Fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it makes sense. The Shi'ar have a history with the Phoenix. They're not going to be down with the X-Men having the Phoenix power, I'm fine with that basic concept of this. And I was fine with the idea of Wolverine the X-Men wanting to continue their subplots,
Mm-hmm.
deal with Kid Gladiator and the kids and the other people here at the compound. I don't know if Warbird is like a set recurring character in this or something, and there's some reason for me to care. But it does not work. There's like a twist at the end of this, which I kind of like she doesn't break good, which is what you expect her to do,
Mm-hmm.
She tried to learn a lesson and she learned the opposite lesson, and that's cool for somebody who I care about. But I literally couldn't care less about Warbird.
Yeah, me either. And I, especially combined with the overall Shi'ar stuff and just like a real fucking hodgepodge of language that we're going to use in here. Like, I don't need to read the word slave womb. Like, I don't need that in my life. Like, what are we doing?
Well, here's the thing. A slave womb, I can understand. Like, there's a context in which there being a slave womb, I could handle it.
Okay.
The womb of a slave, where like George Washington hung out.
Don't worry. I'm just dropping a marker so I can make sure I cut this out of context later. So go ahead, please continue.
I was bad mouthing George Washington. That goes over great, actually. But the idea of a place where like an artificial construct that creates like genetic slaves or something, that's fine.
Mm.
The problem with using that is that it's every other sentence contains one of those.
Yes.
I was reading this last night. I was having a hard time falling asleep. I was going to do my reading this morning, and I was like, I can't sleep, so I should do it now and then sleep in. I was gummied because I was trying to go to sleep. And I had to read multiple paragraphs of this multiple times because I kept getting distracted by this dumbass writing tick of compound words. I want to take compound words away from Jason Aaron. Man,
it's a whole lot.
I like him. Like, he's written comics I've really, really liked.
Sure.
But man, I think this is the pits.
It's not great. Our cover is the Phoenix Force, the giant Phoenix bird, kind of coming after Gladiator as he is bleeding and broken presumably on a pile of dead Shi'ar people.
Yeah. All Warbirds.
And we start 13 years ago, where a group of like military Shi'ar people are psychoanalyzing a cadet and asking her what she sees. And
specifically, this is Watchmen.
Okay.
This is the Rorschach 9-panel scene where Rorschach is doing the ink blot test.
Mm.
What do you see? I see a Van Zarian tusk hound with its skull split open.
Yes.
Rorschach saw the dog with its skull split open. This is a weird little homage comparing Warbird to Rorschach from the Watchmen.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I thought this character's name was the Watchman, and I was like, why the fuck would I know who this like weird brained fuckhead is called the Watchman? Like, you're talking about
Jeremy.
Yeah, this is just like okay. It is like the Watchman, yes.
Yeah, the comic Watchmen.
Yes.
Like it is a shout out to it. For some reason. Like, it doesn't pay off or go anywhere.
I just, I didn't even pick it up. I just thought it was like a reference to the test. Like, I thought it was actually kind of dumb that the Shi'ar is supposed to be this advanced civilization and they're still using tests that have been proven kind of not to work. Like we invented this and like have figured out like
after this we're gonna go to the Shi'ar lie detector.
Right.
Yeah.
The Shi'ar is still stuck on Stockholm syndrome. Like they haven't figured out that's not real yet.
The thing that immediately, whenever I see this panel grid, because all of Watchmen is set up in these, I get suspicious that someone's doing an homage because it's not very in style right now. Like Bendis does it in his Daredevil talkie comics.
Mm-hmm.
He'll do these 3x3s, but yeah. Anywho,
so Warbird is the one being interviewed, Child Warbird, and as she sees these things in her head, she sees butterflies, and she's lying by saying it's a tusk hound with its skull split open, or maybe it's a flower, but it's actually she says out loud it's two warriors. So we're gonna find out very quickly that like she is burying all of her personal stuff to be this Shi'ar warrior person. And then we skip to the future where she is, jumping out of a spaceship and screaming death to the enemies of the Shi'ar as all of the X-Men are fighting all of the Shi'ar.
Can we park for just a second on her truly awful costume?
I mean, just so dumb. It's so dumb.
The side boobs, like the hands that went around and grabbed Janet Jackson's boobs from the side.
Yeah.
As armor.
The weird belt, the jetpack boots, the Mega Man boots, don't like that. Is that hair or is that bird feathers? What is that?
I don't know. Like just armor my limbs, please. Leave my big center mass as exposed as possible.
Yeah, I mean, presumably all the Shi'ars, like major organs are in their arms and legs, right? Is that what it's supposed to be?
Yeah, or does Shi'ar love something for daddy?
Yeah, sure.
There are comic book fans on the Shi'ar world as well who love seeing titty.
That's true. Hey, and look, titty good. I'm not saying titty bad. I'm just,
but
however,
I'm going to blow your mind here, Jeremy. Did you notice Namor on this first page?
I did.
Did you see the little flames on his little foot wings?
So I did.
They did it.
They finally did it, and I'm so happy about it. But they also made his toes the longest toes possible, and I can't possibly look at it. So
his toes on like beast toes from before the blue.
It's a real monkey toe situation. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those bad boys just curled up, But I am glad that someone finally had the idea of like, oh, there's wings there. We should put them on fire because it seems so obvious to me.
Jason Aaron was like, hey man, it'd be great if you put the wings on fire. He's like, cool. Can I give him prehensile toes?
Yeah.
What?
Of course.
And then it just happened.
Yeah, I don't think the art in this it's fine for what it is. It's just it's a little it's very, very comic booky to me in a way. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's just very over the top and kind of bad in a way.
Sometimes I like this kind of thing that's very simple. This is on the Mike Allred axis of like being very retro. It's just not quite as good.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are things I like about it. There are panels I like a lot. And I always like really clean lines and like lack of shading, big bright colors and stuff like that. I think that ends up being appealing.
Yeah. One of the things when I say comic booky is like, it feels, like it's every woman is like overdeveloped. But at the same time, it's also clear what's happening in the panels. Like since it's not stylized at all, you can very clearly see what's happening, which is a good thing. Cause we see
the titty angle. That's not part of the thing I'm saying.
Exactly. Yeah. And again, titty good, not saying titty bad.
Titty, real life titty. I mean, you know me. Yeah. People have been listening to this network long enough. Mm-hmm. I love a titty. Put them in my mouth, but I don't like them in my media. I don't want to be a little horny while I'm reading the X-Men. That's stupid.
I just want to get a little tingle when I'm reading my comic book. Just
people are like that. There are people I've talked to people and they're just like, yeah, at all times I'd like to just be a little bit horny. Just constantly. And I'm like, why? That sounds like hell.
Sounds like not fun to me. I want to be horny at a very specific time. And it's usually during horny times.
And just as importantly, I would love to not be horny at certain times. I was talking about this with the band guys. We're talking about how you remember in high school, you spent such a significant portion of your life dedicated to controlling your boners and hiding them.
Yep, absolutely.
One of the things I was thinking about, so now my body just knows not to get horny in those situations. Like I can see somebody who's real hot and I can be in public and I can be like, that person's very sexually attractive. But it never gets down to my dick. My dick knows better. It's like, I'll just, hit snooze. Like you'll let me know when you need me.
It's
ideal.
This is the same thing that I have learned over 40 some odd years. and this is the reason I don't fart in public. Like, there's never a situation where
Yes.
I'm squeezing them out in the middle of an important meeting. Like, that never happens. Like, it just my body has understood the assignment. It's like, okay, no boners, no farts. You'll take care of all of that stuff later. Like, you'll get to the car. Maybe you'll do both at the same time. I don't know. You will take care of me later. Like, I'm understand. Like, right now you're busy and I'm not busy, so I will just be here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna vibe. I can relax. You begin your life not being able to control that stuff. You spend 30 to 40 years getting there, and then the next 30 to 40 years is losing control of it. And that's the cycle of life. We've never been more in charge of our boners and farts, and that will get worse. But I, for one, want to make hay while the sun is up. Like, I want to enjoy this.
Mm-hmm. I want to be able to freely walk the mall and not get a boner.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's just like one of the things I was also thinking about with that I think is very funny is that pants boners were such an emergency.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember. And I was mortified of the idea of somebody seeing me with an actual boner. I was 100% okay with everyone being able to see me just tamp down my crotch 100 times a day.
Wow.
Just on the off chance that there might be a pants boner, just me straighten and adjust and make sure it was as flat as possible.
You know, I'm thinking back, and I thought I was being slick. But in hindsight, I'm sure like most everybody knew what was going on as I was slamming, the hardback edition of Stephen King's It onto my crotch, trying to get it out of a situation in my like 9th grade math class or something, right? Like, I'm sure most people were picking up on what was going down, and I was like, oh, they'll never get me.
Yeah, it was real dumbasses.
13-year-olds, man.
Very funny.
Warbird, she jumps at Emma Frost and stabs her in the chest with the sword. A sword can't hurt the Phoenix, Gary, but this is a special sword because it goes boom.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, canoes can't kidnap people. This one does.
This makes Emma Frost very mad. But Gladiator comes out and is like, "Hey, yo, this is not your assignment. I will take care of the X-Men. You go find my son. Like, your goal here is to get my son out of this location." And she's like, "No, man, I want to fight. I want to launch the fusion mines and geological destabilizers and bring in the subatomic super guardians and the telepathic sniper squad."
Squad. It begins here. She's embodying her culture.
Yes.
Because she's now going to have a flashback to the sky slums of Chandalar, where now every other sentence is some kind of hyphenated thing. So she grew up here. She grew up in the high shanties. So in the sky slums, there are the high shanties. She's on a mission. She crashes in to find these terrorists. And this is where we start getting all of the nonsense.
Yes.
She came into the world 22 seasons ago in a breed mart at the Flush Bazaar. My father was an automated seed sprinkler. The female factory workers as part of the body taxes. I gestated in a slave womb. Like, it's just nonstop.
Yeah.
That's all on one page. All of those little hyphenated dumb sci-fi things.
And like, why do people like the Shi'ar? Like, this is how Cyclops and Alex's mom died, right? Like, she. Yeah. They made her like forced her to have an alien baby, and like the baby ripped her apart when she was like, is this the other Summers brother? Is what I'm thinking. Like, is Warbird the other Summers brother?
Incredible. It's a time that the Summers brother can be a lady. Sincerely, I know that sounds like a joke, but like, let's do it.
Let's do it.
She killed her mother, and she killed with her first breath.
Mm-hmm.
It's so angsty and dumb. She was named after the munitions that purchased my life rights once I was old enough to work in the war factory. My first word was recoil. Like, I fucking hate this.
It's so it's so edgy and over the top and so stupid. And it's going to we're going to find out like that the super terrible thing. She's like, I was a deeply troubled child because everybody else wanted to go to the throne world, but I was different. And we're going to find out she was like different because she wanted to like draw some plants. Like that's her big shameful secret. But it's just
other kids were using toy torture kits.
What? Why would you have that? Like, Shi'ar? Like,
yeah. Part of the problem with this thing is that I don't feel like the Shi'ar culture has ever been examined or really like held to task for all this stupidness. It feels like, Professor X at some point have been like, Leandra, like, we're cool, right? Listen, on Earth, we don't give the kids toy torture kits. We don't have slave wombs. Like, there's a lot you can learn from Earth, Leandra.
Leandra just goes, yeah, but you give them Call of Duty, and that seems basically like the same thing.
I'm getting into these like endless tired debates.
What's worse, the slave wombs in the sky slums or the Xbox 360 voice chat, Professor Xavier?
What's worth the sky slums or Skyward Sword? Which one's worse, Xavier?
Oh man.
She beat up Iceman. Here we go back to the real world. And she's like, you fought valiantly. I don't fault you. Picks him up and kisses him for some reason. And says, after this is all over, I'd still fuck you. I don't know what the point of this is. I also think this is this is when Iceman's being gay. The hinting is happening more strongly now.
Oh, is it? Okay. I didn't know that.
It's not quite when he's totally come out, but I think this is the beginning of that.
Okay.
I want to say is around this era. Maybe I'm wrong about that though.
Yeah, it seems like a real like just random fucking denouement in the middle of this.
Yeah,
we have more of the X-Men fighting the Shi'ar. You can't. I mean, everybody on this page is unrecognizable. I think, except for Gladiator. There's a scroll maybe that
all the Shi'ar.
Yeah,
the X-Men.
The X-Men are fine.
But,
yeah, and Gladiator is going up against Cyclops when. Finally, Warbird finds Kid Gladiator, and he's like, I'm not going with you. We have to go out there and help my dad. And then we have another flashback. So she has infiltrated this terrorist cell. She is murdering the hell out of all of these people. She confesses to, we find out that she's been drawing, and she's so ashamed of drawing plants and flowers and butterflies that she burns them afterwards. In this flashback,
she finally scored high enough on the kill exam.
Like, even if you have this
Your
society,
hyphenated words,
but you wouldn't call it the kill exams. Like, you just wouldn't. Like, it's no bureaucracy is going to name it the kill exam. Like, it's just fucking ridiculous.
Like, maybe there's some Shi'ar lore stuff I don't know. This is when Leandra's not in charge, and her shitty sister is, or her shitty brother, one of the evil Shi'ars, and they turn everything into an over the top. Grimdark fest, but regardless of which, I hate it.
It's all dumb. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
She murders her.
The whole thing is she pops in and there's a little kid. A big cliche. She doesn't want to kill the kid. A lot of pathos for this little dinosaur kid. Says, "Oh it's okay. I'm ready. My mother told me this would happen."
I like the way that we know the kid is talking in alien because there's a dot in the O. Like that's just a sure, okay.
Yeah.
It makes me think she's saying
it's either a fancy Greek yogurt or it's an alien.
Yeah, exactly. So. The alien says it's not afraid, and we jump back into the future, more bashing back and forth as Kid Gladiator is more of an asshole to Warbird, saying like, I've seen my dad do all of this stuff. We have to go out there and help him. And Warbird is just like, no, Warbirds follow orders. And then it's back to the child terrorist again. I'm just going to assume the child is a terrorist. Yeah. Like, I don't think that there's right. Like,
it's genetic in Shire land.
There's no evidence that it's not a terrorist. You know what I'm saying?
In the Shire.
Yeah. All children are terrorists in the Shire. That's what we're trying to say. Take that, Peter Jackson.
The Saxville Shire. The idea, here's the twist, right? So she lets him go. She says, we couldn't save your drawings, but she took them. The idea is supposed to be it's fainting towards her giving up her life of war or whatever because of this little kid. And then the big twist here is she starts talking about how I never told them about what happened to the boy. They were very or I told them eventually, but I didn't tell them where they was. They gave me a new assignment. I'm going to be Kid Gladiator's bodyguard. Kid Gladiator tries to command her to stop, and she's like, no. She beats him up as Gladiator is actually getting beat up, and she does the twist. She's like, of course that boy didn't make it very far. They found him, they picked him up stealing food from a rich man's dog. In the Shi'ar, they have rich people who have dogs, so they feed them dog food, which of course they do, but just the idea of Shi'ar dog food
Sky
is
dogs?
very funny to me.
Like, is it a dog with wings? Like, what is the dog, equivalent on the Shi'ar sky slum planet?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I love the idea.
Well, the dog.
Go ahead.
The dogs were come from the Puppy Dash Mills, where they get torture trained by the pain priest of PETA.
I love the idea that like she like frees this child, right, and then she confesses it, and she almost gets executed for it. And instead of executing it, they give her this assignment specifically to take away her sympathy for children. And the implication is this child is so fucking awful. This child has such
shitty.
incredibly bad vibes that it's like, okay, if you like babies now, by the time you finish with this baby, you will fucking hate babies. We promise you. Like the kill priest and the
kill priest and the torture lords and the death bureaucrats ensure this is the quickest way.
This little shitbag has a mohawk, and we did not allow him to have a fucking mohawk.
He was born that way.
He was born with a mohawk. Imagine being that shitty.
He's like that one shitty gremlin. Have you seen?
Yeah.
Have you seen Gremlins down at the torture theater?
Oh my god, dude!
It's at the pain multiplex.
Dude, I can't with the fucking compound words, man. I really can't. I can't. It's just so fucking awful.
It's so bad. This is like, so, this is followable. This has an emotional arc, that is in terms of stuff we read for this. This isn't an issue where Iron Fist hang around a scrying pool for 20 pages. Mm-hmm. Like, this is not the worst, writing or comic that we've had in this crossover. In some ways, it's the most annoying, though.
It depends on what we exactly mean by writing, because if you're talking about just words that I have to read, then this has the worst writing that I've ever read.
Yes.
If we're talking about
the plotting is good.
The plot is like fine. Like, right? Like this is like you said, like this is an arc. Like this is a story within a story that, provides background reasons that a character would act a certain way in the middle of a fight. And it's, a lot of fighting at the same time. So it's, weaved together relatively well. But then I still have to read, sky slums and get mad about it, and then slave wombs for Jesus Christ. Like, I mean,
my name is Avadara Nagandadini.
Yeah, okay.
Soldier of the Shi'ar Imperium.
Lose some vowels. That's what I'm asking you to do.
The Shi'ar fucking suck.
They beat the shit out of Gladiator.
So she stops him from, she lets Gladiator get beat up is the point here.
Because those were her orders, and it looks like Cyclops might even kill Gladiator, but that's all off screen. We don't know that that's happened, and probably doesn't happen.
Yeah, they're carrying him beaten up and bloodied back into their thing. I don't know if he's supposed to be dead. There's cool details and stuff like that. Like his fingers are broke and like he's real beat up.
Mm-hmm.
And they send out, even the X-Men send out their medical people. I love Dupe running out with his med kit.
That serious look on his face.
Yeah.
To go Dupe.
Yeah. Serious Dupe. I was in the position, my girlfriend came over and found my little Dupe figurine and was like, who's this guy? And I had to explain Dupe.
Dude,
to somebody who didn't know anything about the X-Men, which was difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. I used to, when we first got married, Autumn would ask me to tell her things about the X-Men. And I thought it was because she was interested.
But she learned not to do that pretty quick.
Well, no, I thought it was because she was interested in the X-Men, and in reality, it was just something to help her go to sleep. So I would and Autumn is
Autumn is fucking great.
It's like, and I'm sitting there like, it helped me go to sleep too. I'm sitting there fucking reciting, Alex Summers or some bullshit, and like getting all relaxed. We're snuggled in the bed or whatever, and it's fucking hilarious. And she goes to every X-Men movie with me. Like she is in the pocket for all this MCU bullshit. Like she's there for all of my nerdy bullshit, and she likes a lot of it too. So I'm like, but it was just really funny realizing like, oh, you don't need to know about this.
I've never thought about it before, but I bet you I could help myself go to sleep just being like, hey, Alex Summers, what do I know? If I said that out loud, I would ASMR myself into sleep, I think.
I used to, when I would interview people for Don't Give Up Skeleton, they would tell me that, I had people tell me that to help them relax, they would play through Dark Souls 1 in their mind. Like go through.
I've done that before.
Go through all of the motions and stuff. And that's probably the only game I could do that with, but yeah.
It's wild. I can go through the whole game basically. Yeah. Like if I in my mind's eye I have that map memorized. parts of the catacombs I don't quite have, but
I'm I invaded a dude the other day and made him aggro Solaire in Interlocked. And I didn't mean to, and I was, and like, imagine I was on the phone with, I was on the mic with our friend Mootcycle from the Duckfeed Slack, and I was just trying to explain to him, because like, in what we're seeing is like this weird phantom who has been sitting down beside the bonfire, like stands up and starts like pantomiming throwing lightning spears that we can't see, and Moot's like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm like, well, it's a weird explanation, it's going to take a while. I said, I have basically ruined this guy's day. Like, good stuff.
Anywho, yeah, Gladiator got beat up.
Yes,
and maybe he's dead. That's the end. And then we learned a lot more about Warbird. So
yeah. She has some inner dialogue about one time she did try to sit down and draw again, and she realized that she had forgotten how. And yeah, that's it. That's all there is to it. The next issue looks like just Phoenixed up Cyclops, or Phoenixed up Colossus, like giving some flowers to Kitty in the most awful art I've seen in a long time. Like, what the fuck is going on with this?
I do love that as a comic book cover. Like, hey kids. So somebody gives somebody else flowers in this. Like, I am legitimately more curious about that issue than the stuff that happened in this one.
It's going to be super interesting, and I'm excited about it. This was awful. It's wild how up and down these side issues. Like, the Uncanny stuff is so fucking good, and then in this we get like, let's explore the pathos of Warbird, something I'm sure all of the X fans were clamoring for, and it'd been years. The emails alone, just so long.
Yeah, just constantly letters. The thing, here's the thing I can put myself in the mind of. Like, one, if Warbird was a supporting character in this comic regularly, I could see them wanting to do a exploration issue. Two, if I put myself in the mind of somebody who likes Warbird, Warbird maybe has, every character is somebody's favorite, right? Maybe I would really dig this. I think the actual work that's happening here outside of the dialogue, the story, the character arc is good. It's fine. It's cogent. It's just the dialogue and the fact that I think Warbird sucks.
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes it so difficult.
And if you're a Warbird defender, give me her top 5 issues. Like, I will go read. I will go read 5 issues of Warbird if you can convince me if you tell me that there's 5 good Warbird issues of something, I will go read them. I want to find out what you guys are seeing, and I can only assume that your silence means that there is not.
Yeah. And I will let you, if you tell Jeremy those 5 good Warbird issues, I'll let him read them and tell me what happens.
Yeah, and if you're lucky, you guys can hear that on the podcast. And if you're not, I'll just text him about it.
Yeah, and we'll just talk about it off air, because we do that. You guys don't get shit. Anywho, this was a frustrating issue. I'm looking forward to next time. Like, this felt like out of this did not advance the main storyline at all this week.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter, because X-Men saved it. Like, Uncanny X-Men saved it.
I was going to look and see what we have. Wow, we are getting close to the end, aren't we? We're getting yeah. Okay,
doing it for a while, it makes sense. And I'm still, like, in general, I know that we grouse and stuff. I'm still enjoying the event. Like, it's still doing interesting shit. A lot of it's going to depend on how it lands.
Mm-hmm.
But I look forward to reading it, like, when we get together to do it. So
not next session, but the session after that, we have 2 AVX mainline comics back to back.
Ooh,
yeah, that should be
excited until Iron Fist shows up, and I'm gonna lose my mind.
That's the New Avengers 28 and 29. That's next week, dude. That's our next session. So
let me take it back. We have not so excited.
If you like this podcast, support us over at patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv. Doing so supports not just us, but a wide variety of podcasts about video games and comedy and all kinds of cool stuff. Go check all of those things out. If you can't donate at Patreon, leave ratings and reviews. You can tell your friends about the podcast. You can tell your classmates about the podcast. Tell your professors. Sure. If you're at college, you can just go talk to your professor and be like, hey,
start a club.
Start a Days of Future Cast fan club at your Harvard. I'm assuming
that's the only prestigious universities. Yeah. Berkeley or bust for the Days of Future Cast.
Ivy League or get the fuck out, as far as I'm concerned.
If Emma Frost would go there, yes. If Marrow would go there, no.
Tell your friends.
Here's something. Duckstream coming up
has already been passed.
December 17th. 18th and 19th. Say what?
It's already happened.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess. Well.
So
hope that was good.
Let me get my dates right. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we had a great weekend, everybody. It was last Saturday.
Yeah. Damn us for getting ahead.
Yeah, and Merry Christmas. Now that I'm looking at the calendar, Christmas is coming up this weekend, everybody.
Yeah, all of this stuff is predicated on us not dying in the Great Duckstream tragedy.
Yes.
When I try to do the cooking reality show and burn down Nick's house.
Oh no, not good.
If that happened, don't use this as evidence.
Did I tell you that I almost I burned a chicken breast and just smoked out my entire fucking house? Like,
boy, did you tell me. I saw photo evidence of that.
Jesus Christ.
You were like, this Gary's got to see.
Autumn's dad was like, is there something wrong? And I'm like, just stay in your home, Mark.
Get in the ADU.
Get back in my garage. Thank you.
Back to the barn with you.
Thank you for making Duckstream a success. I'll probably at the beginning of this batch of episodes, I'll probably put that on the at the beginning. I'll do a thing. So yeah.
Yeah.
See you later, everybody.
Yeah. Take care, everybody.